Big Napa Valley got together again at the Cedar Gables Inn in Napa, and this time it was for Alice Medrich and her book, Pure Desserts. It was wonderful.
Is yours in the other room?
Now it's my favorite time. This is when we get to sit around the table with our desserts and talk about our experiences that we had while we made the desserts. Let's listen in.
This is Alice.
Roasting takes it in a different direction. Worth a try, but it's a whole different animal. Because you know the flavor of toasted almonds is so different. And
Yes.
I used to sort of like everything toasted, but I've come to a point where I realize that toasting is a choice that you make when you want that flavor, and that we sometimes forget how amazingly delicious good almonds are. They have this inherent cherry, you know, that marzipan-y cherry kind of flavor that you start to lose that when you toast. So I think it's a great idea to try it and see what you get. It's going to be a different animal.
Okay.
It might be delicious.
Yeah.
Stuff, except for that, the filling is the exact recipe that I started my business with.
No
The
way.
egg yolk truffle that I sold at Pig by the Tail and later opened Cocoa. My very first ever sold
That's
recipe.
what I like to do.
That's so cool.
Because I was in the 70s.
That's why. That's why one tart serves
It was a
about
block away from my
30
grandma's
people.
house. My daughter, my 11-year-old daughter and I, we checked out every single book of yours. Okay.
Rio's recipe was fantastic. It was the freezing the flour, or just having everything. I've never done it with beating the butter first. That was something I'll always do now with brioche. It just made it so much easier. Everything incorporated so quickly.
Eat it now.
Ooh.
Yeah, the iced citron vodka chocolates. You know what I loved about this, something I'd never done, was the heavy whipping cream that has mint, chopped mint, sitting in it overnight. And so then when you put the cream on the heat to warm it up to make the ganache, you just get this wonderful smell of mint cream. And I thought, oh gosh, you could use this for so many different things. I mean.
And it was fantastic. And what it reminds me of, and I never thought of it before, but my mom wasn't a big baker. She was kind of like a cake box baker, and she used to make this cake in a bundt pan, and it was like, you know, some cake mix, and it had wine. She would either use wine, some kind of wine, or rum, or something like that, and it reminded me of a better version of that. So I'm really excited because I never thought about it that way, and now I have something that I can make, you know, with real ingredients. And so it's fantastic, and it's not too sweet, and I just love it. And my husband, who's Jewish and is used to eating kind of not so sweet cake, he loves it. This is fantastic.
So, being the therapeutic nutritionist that I am, I had hemp seed in my pantry. Can't say that around this table, I bet, too many times. But anyway.
Yes, and he had everything that you were telling us. So she didn't state bourbon or Tahitian vanilla. So again, I went and referenced her front section where she talks about different vanillas. I love her front section. So, it's so true. Okay, wait, does she want bourbon or does she want Tahitian or does she want Mexican? So, you know, I'm like, so I thought, okay, it's a huge difference. So she clearly states in here, you guys, it's so great. So she states that if you're using a custard, Tahitian is the way to go. But she mentioned bourbon for like your background for cookies and stuff, because Tahitian is very cherry notes underneath. And I have a tough time with Tahitian, and I have a good friend who all she uses is Tahitian. And actually the CIA, I think everything's Tahitian for them.
So I don't like to use it unless I want that to be the flavor.
Yes.
In which case a custard would be a way to
Exactly.
do that.
And especially this, when you use such a bitter chocolate. And she did give me options, just so you know. She gave a range. And so when I saw I'm gonna go bitter, I thought the cherry notes would be nice with the bitter. So that's kind of what I did. So I did use Tahitian vanilla, and I used a 70% Valrhona chocolate. So I really like this a lot. Yeah.
I'm glad this turned out well,
Oh,
because we have since.
Okay, now it's her turn to talk about this.
I already realized that if you take any starch thickened pudding, you'll know this about starch, you're not supposed to mess with it too much after you've cooked it, or it can just all relax, especially if there's eggs in there. I mean, there's all sorts of issues with eggs if you read your Shirley Courier. And I realized that if people put that pudding in the processor and do it for too long, I mean, more than just
Yeah.
then it's gonna break down the starch.
So it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye to all the laughter and the camaraderie and all the calories. It's always such a treat to be with these women and the men and taste all the delights.